I was a police officer in Kingston for 15 and a half years. I was shot. I was shot twice. I was stabbed twice. I had my throat slit, slashed, left for dead.
After having his throat slit and being left for dead, Veach decided to leave the police force in Kingston, Jamaica, to pursue a better life in the United States.
I resigned from the force in Jamaica, and then I moved to the United States, and that's where I made the decision to become a police officer.
Glenford's dream when he came to the United States was to be a police officer. It meant everything to him.
Since the Jim Crow era, systemic racism has existed in police departments across the country. Not only has law enforcement's approach to people of color affected those in the Black community, but it has also targeted individuals of color within the department.
Well, as soon as I got the job, I was met with resistance from the white officers, who basically asked me flat out, why are you here? So from day one, it was total harassment.
Early on in his tenure with the Lauderhill Police Department, Veach lost the trust of fellow officers when he refused to fire on a suspect that was carrying a gun.
We responded to a call, a suspected robbery in progress. Upon arrival at the scene, I saw 3 suspects. One had a gun. So I did everything, to de-escalate the situation, and he complied. He put the gun down. Backup came, everybody got in my face. Why didn't you shoot? That's not our policy here. You see a gun, you blow the fucking head off. And at that point, there was no trust there, because they felt that if it comes down to, protecting their life, they could not rely on me.
Once trust was lost, it was just a matter of time until the situation came to a head.
2 months into the job, we responded to another burglary. On arrival, we covered the house. While standing at the back of the house, there was a suspect, jumped out the window. While I'm running towards him, a second suspect jumped out the window, almost on top of my back, so knocked me off balance. I had my gun accidentally discharged into the ground. I was immediately taken to, one of the police cars, where I gave an initial statement. And I observed 5 of these officers picking up the spent casing from where it happened, planted it about 50 feet to the back of the house, and said that's where it happened. They basically said that I chased down the suspect and tried to put a bullet in the back of the suspect.
After the incident, Glenford Veach was charged, fired from the force, and then later convicted of falsifying a police report.
At trial, 2 of the 5 officers who testified against me weren't even there at the scene when the girl jumped out the window on my back.
The trial, it really took a toll on Glenford. He had to sit there and watch 5 fellow officers lie about what happened that day. And honestly, that can be hard on any man.
After appealing his conviction, Veach filed complaints with Internal Affairs, the Department of Homeland Security, and the FBI, where the truth finally came to light, that the officers on the scene all lied.
So the FBI came in, conducted a polygraph, which proved that I was telling the truth. This resulted in the termination of a number of these officers. One went home and committed suicide. I'm still being blamed for this, even today. This has left me traumatized. I go around wondering what's going to happen to me next. My kid, he had to leave the state because I feel he was in danger. My whole family is destroyed. Everything is destroyed. I'm still in fear because I believe that these white officers will seek retribution.
As Glenford Veach continues his pursuit for justice and to clear his name of a crime he didn't commit, his situation has only gotten worse. Just weeks after his interview with a local radio station, the threats against his life have increased, as have also calls for him to leave the United States by undercover officers who stated that he is trying to take down the Lauderhill Police Department. There's a 911 transcript and GPS tracking device that could prove one of the police officers who went to court and lied under oath was nowhere near the crime scene when the incident occurred. Glenford has sought the help of the FBI in Miami and Virginia, but got no assistance. He later went to the Manhattan FBI headquarters where he pleaded with an agent who told him that they were busy working on more important issues and his best option would be to speak with someone in the office in Miami, even though he informed the agent that his life was in danger. Glenford also contacted the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE, the government body for all law enforcement in the state of Florida, 3 times and was told they didn't believe his story. Glenford has also wrote to Governor Ron DeSantis and visited his congressman, Ted Dutch's office, but got no response. He has gone to several law enforcement agencies to include the Broward County Sheriff's Office, hoping to speak with Sheriff Gregory Toney. Days later, detectives were dispatched to his residence. Instead of helping him, he was told that they weren't going to open up a 7-year-old case, which could potentially disrupt the lives of serving members of the force, and his best option would be to leave the state of Florida or the United States if he felt unsafe. This whole experience has rendered Glenford hopeless and unable to care for himself and for his family. He now has no other option but to leave the United States of America and return to Jamaica, the place of his birth. All his dreams and aspirations of becoming a police officer and an airline pilot have all been destroyed. Glenford hopes to return to the United States one day to be with his family, but he believes that doing so would place his life in further danger.